Hello Tolkien class, well we're up to chapter 15. Tally had obviously had a really good drama lesson. That's how he finished. So, are you sure that you don't want to take one of your cuddly toys? Asked Mum for the millionth time. Tally rolled her eyes and folds up her pyjamas. I've already told you, she says, shoving them into a bag. Nobody is going to be taking a toy with them. I'll look like a baby. Mum seems unconvinced. You could stuff it down the bottom of your sleeping bag, she suggests. Nobody would even know it was there then. Tally hesitates for a second. That's not a terrible idea. She could take Billy. He deserves a treat after she forgot all about his birthday last month. It might be quite nice to know that he was there with her. No, she shakes her head firmly. I'm not taking a toy to Layla's sleepover. I'm 11 years old now, Mum. You've got to stop treating me like I'm still little. Mum zips up the bag and gives Tally a smile. I know that, sweetheart. You're getting so grown up now that you're in secondary school. Dad and I are really proud of you, and here you are going on your very first sleepover. She ruffles Tally's hair and pulls her in for a hug. Mum, you're so embarrassing. Tally twists away, but inside she's smiling too. Right then, I think that's everything. Mum picks up her bag and turns towards the door. If you're absolutely sure about not taking anything to cuddle. Tally glances at her bed, where the duvet is almost hidden by the army of soft toys that are lying on top. I'm sure, she says, taking a deep breath. I'm not a little girl anymore. Mum drives a short distance to Layla's house, and on the whole way Tally can barely keep still. The excitement is making her legs jiggle and her hands flap, and Mum keeps giving her worried little glances, which makes Tally tell her off, because the driver should always keep her eyes on the road when she's driving the car unless she wants to cause an accident. The moment that the car stops, Tally launches herself out the door. Have you got all your stuff? Calls Mum, opening the boot. If you've forgotten anything, I can always drive back. It isn't far, so don't worry about phoning me if you need anything, okay? Tally wonders if Mum's going to be okay while she's at the sleepover. Together they carry the sleeping bag and rucksack up the path, and Mum knocks at the door. Tally, you're here! Layla grabs Tally's arm and drags her inside the house. Aisha and Lucy are standing at the bottom of the stairs, and Tally wonders if they've been here for long. I'm so glad you've actually come this time. Mum thought you'd cancel again, but I told her you'd promise you'd come. Hello, Tally. Layla's mum is standing in the hall, making a frowning face at her daughter. It's great that you're here. Hello, said Tally, suddenly feeling awkward. It's great that you're here too. There's a pause and Tally replays the greeting in her head, realising too late that she got it wrong. What was she thinking, saying that to Layla's mum? Of course she'd be there. It's her house. Tally clenches her fists, digging the nails into the palm of her hand, and hearing her voice over, saying the same pointless thing over and over again. She wanted today to be perfect, but she's already ruined it. Thanks so much for having her. She's been really looking forward to it. Mum has stepped inside. And of course, if there are any issues, then just... It'll be fine, Jennifer, interrupts Mrs. Richardson, which is quite rude of her, but after messing up with saying hello, Tally thinks that she probably shouldn't address the issue of Layla's mum's bad manners right now. You go and have a fabulous evening with Kevin and relax for once. She turns to look at the girls. They're all going to have a marvellous time. Let's take your stuff up to my room, says Layla, pulling Tally towards the stairs. We aren't eating tea until later, so we've got tons of time. Tally allows herself to be dragged along, throwing a quick look back over her shoulder at Mum. I'll call you tomorrow, calls Mum. And then, just as Tally turns away, she silently mouths, I love you, and blows a kiss. Nobody else appears to notice, which is a relief, because the last thing that Tally needs is Mum getting all silly and soppy about her staying over at somebody else's house. Layla's room looks like there's been some kind of explosion. Clothes are flung everywhere and the surfaces are dripping in makeup and hair things and jewellery. The smell of perfume lies heavily in the air, and when Tally walks inside, it feels like she's drowning in a sea of pink. Put your things over there, says Layla, finally letting go of Tally's arm, and then we can give you a makeover. Tally looks at where her friend is pointing. There's a small patch of carpet that hasn't already been claimed by Aisha and Lucy, so she pulls out a sleeping bag and squeezes into that space. Now sit here, and then we can begin. Lucy flings out her arms, gesturing towards Layla's dressing table. Tally isn't entirely sure that she really wants to sit down, but she sinks obediently onto the stool because she's done enough research on sleepovers to know that a makeover is definitely a normal thing to do. And it's very important that she is normal for the next 18 hours and 30 minutes. I'm going to make you look beautiful, promises Layla, standing next to Tally. She looks at the reflections in the mirror and tips her head to one side, looking thoughtful. I think you would look great with a smoky eye and some really sharp definition on your cheeks. What do you think, Aisha? Aisha comes up to Tally's other side and puts her hands on her hips. Maybe, she said slowly, peering at Tally's face, but only if you balance up with the pale lip. And obviously you're going to need some white liner on her lids to make the eyeshadow really pop. Also, I'm wondering about some eyelash extensions because hers are quite short. What do you think, Tally? Tally thinks that this is entirely possible, that they are speaking some kind of alien language, but she doesn't want to be rude. That sounds all great, she says, beaming as wildly as she can, especially the bit about popping and making one eye look smoky. Are you going to make me look like a panda? Aisha and Layla start to giggle. Tally feels the rush of happiness that she always gets when she makes her friends laugh. She can do this. She really can. Over by the window, Lucy is messing about with her phone, and suddenly the room is filled with the sound of Taylor Swift's voice. It feels like a good omen, so Tally relaxes back into the chair while Layla sorts the makeup up, and Aisha sits on the carpet and starts lining up bottles of nail varnish, reading the names of each one out aloud. We've got Moon Blue, she says, and I love this colour. It's called Sparkle Tips. I got that last Christmas, said Layla, squirting something onto her hand. It's lush, isn't it? I think Tally will look good in this yellow one, said Aisha, holding up a bottle of something that reminds Tally of a banana. It's called Vomit Comet. How brilliant is that? I don't want anything called vomit on my fingernails, says Tally, but she says it very quietly and nobody can hear over the noise of Taylor Swift. Now, you need to stay really still, says Layla, turning to face Tally. She dabs a sponge into the squirty stuff that is now on the back of her hand. This is just to give you a blemish-free base, but you don't want it to go in your eye because it really stings. Believe me, I know. Tally scrunches her eyes, closed in panic, and Layla tuts. No, you can't do that. You'll get wrinkle lines. We're trying to make you look gorgeous, not like an old lady. The sponge makes contact, and Tally flinches. It's unexpectedly cold, and as Layla moves around her face, Tally's skin starts to feel tight and hard and uncomfortable. She counts in her head, returning to 0 every time she reaches 10, just like Mum taught her. It isn't really enough to make the situation any better, though. Finally, Layla steps away and Tally opens her eyes. Are we done now? She asks. Is it time for tea? Layla laughs and Tally hears a snorting sound from over by the window. We haven't even begun yet, says Layla. That was the boring bit. Now the fun can really start. Tally opens her mouth to tell Layla that she can't stay in the chair for 1 minute longer, but she closes it again when what is she going to use as an excuse? She can't say that she needs to go to the bathroom because it would be way too embarrassing. And if she tells them that she doesn't like makeovers, then they'll wish that they hadn't invited her and she'll ruin everything. The only thing she can do is to make her body go rigid and still as possible so that she doesn't start stimming. The girls might be her friends, but she's pretty certain that they won't cope with the real Tally showing up at this sleepover. The phone switches to another song and Taylor Swift's voice is replaced by a man who is shouting very loudly about something that his girlfriend had done to him to upset him and how he's going to be sorry that she ever crossed him. Oh, I love this one, squeals Aisha. Turn it up. Lucy raises the volume and then Tally watches as she advances towards her, brandishing an item that makes Tally's stomach flip over with fear. I'm in charge of your hair today, Lucy tells Tally, waving the hairbrush in the air. Her voice sounds fake, just like the perfect people on television, the ones who are always bossing imperfect people about and telling them that they have to do a better job of being a human. And I have got to say, I've been wanting to get my hands on your head for a long time now, my darling. Aisha laughs and shuffles forward until she is kneeling next to Tally's legs. Give me your hand, she orders. I'm going to give you one of my fabulous manicures. Tally can't take her eyes off Lucy and the hairbrush, so without paying attention, she lets Aisha tug at her arm until her hand is dangling over the edge of the chair. Isn't this great? Says Layla, picking up something that looks like a pencil. It's so much fun having you here with us, Tally. This is going to be the best sleepover ever. She grins and Tally smiles back. The smile that she's practiced in the mirror. The smile that says she is having a brilliant time and that there is nowhere else she'd rather be. And then they attack her. It's the tiny needle stabbing into her head that push her too far. It is the sharp stick that is rammed into her fingernails, making unbidden tears spring into her eyes. It is even the smell of Layla's breath, hot and heavy, as she leans forward and pokes Tally's face over and over again. None of the things push Tally over, although they make her feel like that she's clinging onto the side of a cliff, while her friends peel her fingers off the edge one at a time. But she doesn't let them see it. The pain as Lucy tugs the brush through her tangled hair that hasn't seen a hairbrush for weeks. The torture of Aisha pushes back the skin on her cuticles. The agony as Layla applies the liner, occasionally slipping and prodding her in the eye. She doesn't let them see how much they are hurting her because the whole time they are chatting about nothing and singing along to the music and giggling about what she's going to say when she sees what she looks like. And she knows that they think they're being kind. She knows that they've chosen further makeup because she's supposed to be it's the nice thing to have done to you. She knows that there is nothing more normal than hanging out with your friends on a Saturday afternoon, even if it makes her feel like she's being torn to pieces. It's only when they are done, and Layla instructs her to open her eyes, that she finally tumbles over the edge of the cliff. "What do you think?" squeals Aisha, jumping up and down. "Do you like your new look?" Tally blinks, the bright lights around the mirror making it difficult to focus. Then her reflection swims into view, and she leans forward, unable to believe what she is seeing. "I told you we'll have made you look gorgeous," boasts Layla, grinning. "You look a completely different person." It's true. Tally's hair is no longer scrunched back into a scrappy ponytail. Instead, it lies flat against her head, and it seems to be shining and glossy. And her face is almost unrecognisable. Her eyes look huge, the reminder of a fly, big and bug-like. Apparently, a smoky eye does that to make a person look like a panda. Does not make a person look like a panda. "Ladies, we have outdone ourselves," states Lucy in her television voice. "Her transformation is complete. She is a caterpillar no longer. She is a beautiful butterfly." "Do you love it?" asks Aisha again, peering at Tally. "Because we can show you how to do it yourself, and then you can come to school looking a bit more..." "Aisha!" snaps Layla, cutting her off. "Just shut up, okay?" In the mirror, Tally sees Aisha's face go bright red. "Sorry," she mumbles. "I didn't mean to say that." "Looking a bit more what?" asks Tally, lowering her eyes away from her reflection. What were you going to say? Layla glares at Aisha, and a loud music fills the room. The dressing table is covered with makeup, and one of the bottles has leaked all over the wooden surfaces. It's messy and chaotic, and Tally has had enough. What were you going to say?" she repeats, pushing the chair back and standing up. "You can show me how to do makeup myself so I can come to school looking more what?" She marches across the room and turns off the music. "Tell me." "Looking a bit more normal," says Lucy, shrugging her shoulders. "It's no big deal, Tally. We just thought you might want to look more like us, to fit in." Tally stares at the three girls in front of her. I didn't know that I looked different from you," she whispers. If you don't like it, then we can wash it off," says Layla worriedly. "It was just a bit of fun, Tally." She looks helplessly at the others. We didn't mean to upset you." From somewhere very deep inside of her, Tally finds a final surge of strength. She closes her eyes for a second, and when she opens them, she's ready to hurl herself up onto the cliff top. "I'm not upset," she says, as brightly as she can. "Well, maybe I'm a bit upset that you made me look like a boring, ordinary girl and not a panda, but never mind. You can do that next time." "Yeah," Layla looks relieved. "We can have an animal-themed sleepover and get face paints. I'll be a zebra. What about you, Lucy?" "Oh, yeah, that sounds amazing," sniffs Lucy, rolling her eyes. "If we weren't like 6 years old, maybe." Layla walks up to Tally and puts her hand on her arm. "Do you want to wash it off?" she asks quietly. "Because that's okay." Tally wants to wash it off more than she wants anything else in the entire universe right now. The makeup is making her skin feel prickly, and it smells strange, and she can't bear to look at herself in the mirror because she doesn't look like her, and she hates butterflies, actually, with their fakery and deception and pretending to be something that they're really not. What's wrong with just being a caterpillar? But she looks normal, apparently. She looks like Layla and Aisha and Lucy. "I don't want to wash it off," she lies. It's a white lie, and if that's okay, if it helps to make her friends feel happy again and stops the sleepover from going wrong. But Lucy is still scowling, and Aisha is busying herself with tidying up nail varnish bottles and not looking at Tally. She obviously hasn't said enough to make everything right. She needs to try harder. "I love it," she says, making an effort not to sound like a robot. "My transformation is complete. I love my luck. Thank you for turning me into a butterfly. Girls, it's time to eat."